Oh shoot, hold on. Hi guys. Welcome to our Tuesday night hot mess dream team chat. So glad that you guys are here. This is our first dream team chat of March. And we are so excited. Me and Alex have decided that we are going to be, it's a new catalog, it's a new season, we're feeling the excitement. And we decided that this month we are going to be a team that does. We're going to be a team that actually steps into doing actionable things and not just sitting here soaking in all of the information, right? Because sometimes we can get stuck in that cycle of like just taking everything in, and then it's like analysis paralysis where we're not actually doing the things that we're learning about or teaching ourselves. And so we're going to encourage you guys to actually take action as we're here learning about the content and the gosh, my cat is going crazy over this bug. As we're talking about these different topics. So every Tuesday this month, the topic that we're going to be talking about is going to lead to a call of action while we're on the Dream Team chat. Okay. So this is super exciting for the people, obviously, who are live with us. But if you're watching the replay, y'all can do this too. Obviously, time permitting, depending on what time it is. But we would love for you guys to take action while you're soaking in this information, because there's nothing like stepping into actually doing it. We can talk ourselves out of it later. And so with that being said, tonight, the topic is joint conversations, right? Sponsoring. We are in a season, and we have been in a season in the Scentsy business as a whole, where sponsoring is down. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with y'all, sponsoring is down. Sponsoring is down team wide, sponsoring is down company wide. And the reality of it is if we're not growing, we're dying. Like that's true for anything and everything. If you're not growing, you're dying. And so there's a lot to be said for what that looks like in our business. And there are different seasons and times where we're growing and pouring into different aspects of our business. But we feel like it is super important for us as leaders, us as consultants, us as good business-minded people, to really put a focus on what it looks like to sponsor. And so tonight, me and Alex are kind of just going to go over some really simple tips that we have shared with you in the past, some simple context, little context boxes for you guys to kind of take a peek at, to understand, and then we're going to step into actually having those joint conversations. And so we're just going to be highlighting a few of these areas that we think you guys should know before you actually step into having a joint conversation, and what it looks like to do that. And we're talking about that first baby step. And let me just remind you guys, we're coming off the heels of our previous program from last month, which was our Leap to Lead program, where we spent the last 4 months talking about stepping into leadership. And so this is kind of like, this part is like the prerequisite to what we talked about last month, which was the leadership aspect of it. But before you step into leadership, you have to step into the sponsoring conversation. So if you are catching this first, this is actually a really great week for you to be here. But what I would encourage for you is, if you weren't present or didn't catch all of last month's Dream Team chats, to go back after this and go watch that and go soak in that information and actually do the things that we talked about there as well. Because what you're going to learn here is step one, right? And then after this comes the leadership part of this business, where the actual growth and longevity of your business will happen. Okay, sponsoring is just step one. And to be completely frank with you, this is the easiest part of this entire growing journey. This is easy. Having joint conversations will be easy, but it also comes easy the more that you do it. Okay, so again, we're just talking about some very simple steps. We have done multiple trainings on like actual digging really super deep into joint conversations, excuse busters, all those kinds of things. So I encourage you to go find those trainings should you need more context. But we're just going to hit some highlights, and I'm going to start with our discounted kit. Okay, and so our discounted kit this month, in the month of March 2024, Scentsy has given us a wonderful discounted kit that is $35. Okay, but let us not, before we dive into that, let us not forget that Scentsy has given us the opportunity to have a Scentsy or to have a discounted kit all the time, which is our host kit, which is the $59 kit that actually is available to you. Someone's at some doorbell. Hold on. I am so sorry, man. I wish I could go back and like edit that part out, but I can't. My son just got home, so okay. Diving right back into it, you have the opportunity to have a discounted kit available to you as a consultant at all times, which is the $59 join kit. Okay, that is available to you with any open party that you have, whether you're the host or not. At $200, you can have this host kit available. So $59, that is the host kit. But this month, Scentsy has given us a discounted kit that is $35, which would include the mod taupe warmer, a set of testers, 5 catalogs, a bar, a fragrance flower, and the art of fragrance set. Okay, a fantastic starting point for anybody who wants to step into this business, who wants to get an idea of what it would look like to be a consultant, no matter the reason, right? And it's really important that you express that to the people that you're having conversations with, that regardless of what their end game is, that any of these starter kits will get them will get their toes wet essentially into what this business has to offer, right? You can do a lot with a little in this business. Okay, there are superstar directors who literally work from their living room out of 3 drawers from their entertainment center. Okay, so being a really great leader, sponsoring people, running a super successful business, getting a discount on the products that they love, selling to their friends and family, doing 200 every 6 months, like all of those things can happen no matter what kit you choose. But having a discounted kit is a really great opportunity for you to have conversations with people who have previously said that money is a potential reason why they can't step into this business, right? Because our other kit is $99. The $59 kit is labeled a host kit, which can throw people off because they think that they have to host a party in order to unlock this kit, but that's not true. You as a consultant need to be educated in that part of it. But the $99 kit, if you're just talking about these 2 kits that anybody can go on and sign up under, you're looking at the $99 kit and the $35 kit. And that's a huge discrepancy in the financial part of it, which is a great talking point, again, for times like these where the economy is a little rough and people may be pinching pennies a little bit more. And, it definitely can come up in conversation where people would be like, I do want to earn money, but I don't have, the $99 to spend to do that. The $35 kit is fantastic. And so really encouraging them with the idea that they can do a lot with a little, and that kit is a great starting point. Okay, so you have that at your disposal. As a Scentsy consultant, you have this incredible tool that you are able to walk confidently into conversations with the people who are on your list, talking to and giving them the option of that $35 kit. Okay, and so that brings me to my next point, which is circling back to the list of 100. So this is actually an idea that I know it was really big when I first started, and I don't know if it still gets talked about like in the new consultant or the checklist or anything like that. But I know that like if you go to trainings and stuff like that, leaders who have been around for a really long time, and even newer leaders will tell you that having a list of people who you have, for lack of a better term, like categorized into certain areas of your life and into your business is super helpful when it comes to growing your business, right? Having a list of people who you say, okay, you know what? These are my coworkers. These are people who experience Scentsy on the daily with me because I work a 9 to 5 and they love it. And they are always willing to open up a personal shopping link or to host a party with me, right? These are my hosts, but they are also my coworkers. So you see where those two things align, okay? Or for me, back when I first started, I had a whole list of stay-at-home moms because I was a part of groups that were primarily made up of stay-at-home moms. And those people were my regular customers. And then those people became my teammates because those people witnessed or heard from me one-on-one how great this business was for my family, or how great this business was for me as a mom to have something that was my own, right? And so I was creating lists as a new consultant of the people in my life who I would put into one category as either stay-at-home mom friends or my husband's coworkers or people from church, and then they would get cross-referenced as where they fit in my Scentsy life, right? So they were really great hosts. These were the people who were not interested in joining, but they would always be down to host a party at least once a season, right? And their parties always turned out really great, and they were the ones that I could go back to, and that I knew would really show up as a great host. And then I had the people who I were having ongoing conversations with as potentially joining, right? And that's something that I want you guys to understand as well when we're talking about the list of 100, when we're talking about joint conversations. Please just know that having joint conversations, talking to people about doing it, two things you need to be so aware of. One, we're not talking about cold messaging. Okay, we are not talking about sliding into some random person's DM who you've only met once or who you just randomly found on Facebook or Instagram. Okay, this is not that. The people who you are putting on your list are people who you have had interaction with. Yes, it can be just virtual interaction, but these are people who you have established some sort of relationship with. Maybe it started from Scentsy, sure, maybe they were a customer or whatever, but majority of the people on my list, especially when I started, were people who were in other parts of my life. Okay. And then it naturally evolved into Scentsy. And so these are not people who I'm cold messaging. That's just not what we do, period, point blank. Okay. And then the other part of the joint conversation is that we call it planting seeds for a reason. Okay. Very seldom are you going to present the opportunity of Scentsy to somebody and they're going to immediately, right then, first time hearing it, say, yes, sign me up. Okay. Planting seeds is what you have to know that you're doing. And you can't just listen. I am terrible at keeping plants alive. Alex knows this. I kill everything that comes into my house. This is where plants come to die because I forget to water things. I'm trying to keep children alive, not plants. So I'm not great at that. But I do understand that when it comes to host, join conversations, buying, sometimes it's a matter of planting seeds and then having to come back and water them, right? And that's why keeping lists are important and tracking these conversations, because you do want to come back and you do want to circle back. So when we have a discounted kit, you can come back to somebody who said it was too expensive with the $99 kit, but now you have a $35 kit to offer them. Right. And so continuing to water the conversations and continuing to reach out to them and continuing to build relationship with them is so important. Okay. And so having these lists, and we call it initially the list of 100, but it should be an ongoing list, but it should eventually get to 100 and it should kind of stay at 100. And it's going to be a revolving door because some of those people are going to join, right? Over time, you're going to have people who were on your list as a host, and then all of a sudden they hosted a party one time and you mentioned that they could make commission off of their party, and then they join, and then you're crossing them off that list, right? And so you should always be adding new people. You should always be building your network, and you should be always putting the people that you are having interactions with and relationship with, they should naturally fit into somewhere into your Scentsy life, right? Somewhere into your Scentsy journey, these people should fit. Maybe they're just a customer. Maybe I have people on my list. Hear me. I have people on my list who are literally just cheerleaders of my business right now, right? They're not really buying from me, but man, they clap it up when I win, right? Or they're excited for me. I have people at church who are just excited for me. They love what I do, but they've not bought from me. That's okay. They're still on my list, right? Because one day they may decide to buy from me. One day something may come up and they may decide that I'm their Scentsy person. And then 6 months from then, they could decide to host a party, right? But imagine if I never kept track of these people. Imagine if I never tracked my conversations that I'm having, right? I want to be able to look at a tangible list and be able to say, okay, I have a list of people that I can go to for parties. I have conversations that I've been having with people about joining that I can come back to, and I need to actually revisit this conversation with this person, right? And so circling back to your list of 100, which is if you don't have this, then that's something that I want you and encourage you to start creating and going. It's literally so simple. You just go sit down, and I like to make the little spider diaphragms. I don't know what they're called anymore, but you like start with the circle and then you like line out and then you make other little bubbles. And so, you would do like list of 100 and then you would go out and you'd say coworkers and then you'd start fanning out with the little bubbles and putting in your coworkers, right? And then you'd go stay at home moms or whatever, people on Instagram, friends here, husbands, coworkers, whatever. And you would have this spidered out web of people that you have contact with, and then you'd be able to categorize them. Okay, these are the people who you can start making lists on the side, like these are the people who have hosted for me. Okay, where do they fit into my life? Okay, and then you have some sort of organization. So if you haven't created that yet, I encourage that for you. And it's super easy to do when you start thinking about the areas of your life. But it is something that is necessary because the tracking part of it and the coming back to it and the being able to, in different seasons of your life where growth is necessary, or we have a discounted join kit, like you want to be able to have something to keep you grounded so you have a direction that you're going. Okay. So with that being said, hopefully you all have some names jotted down. I forgot to say in the beginning, but like hopefully you guys have some paper in front of you. You have a list maybe already going. You have conversations that you've had with previous people. Maybe as I've been talking, you've been writing down names. If you haven't, please write down some names. And what Alex is going to talk about now is some join verbiage. And then we're going to get to our action point. And so be ready.
Okay. Yes. I'm so excited for like actionable steps in our business, especially doing it in a dream team chat. We are thinking of these as like a power hour, right? So we are like getting a little information and then we're going to do it. And so, so excited about that. I'm going to be talking about like verbiage when we have joint convos. And I want to echo a little bit what Brie was saying about like, we don't cold message people. There's no need for us to do that. We do not want to be like spammy. We are literally fighting against the stigma that MLMs come with. Okay. We know that Scentsy is not spammy and salesy, and like we should take pride in that. And the best way to take pride in that is by not participating in those types of behaviors, like cold messaging people that you have never met or only met one time. Or they've never like done business with you, or you haven't talked to them in years and years. Like we don't want to do that. And so just a reminder, like we don't have to do that. We can build a very successful business without cold messaging. So the people that we're wanting to be talking to about joining are your customers, your friends, people who you are around, who see you using Scentsy, wearing your Scentsy stuff, doing Scentsy events, your audience that is engaging with you. Okay. I call this your active audience. Okay. So like, yes, your people are watching you. And I think that that is encouraging. Okay. That people are watching you. They're seeing what you're doing. But then you have the audience that's engaging with you, ones that are like liking and loving all of the things that you post, who are commenting on things, cheering you on, following you and your kiddos, cheer for your marriage, all of those things. That is your active audience. And what's really cool, and let me just say, this happens virtually and in person. Okay. So your active audience is like an accumulation of your online presence and also like your in-person presence. And the cool thing is that you can build your active audience. So if you feel like you don't know enough people, no one's interested, okay, now you need to go meet new people. You need to improve your active audience. You need to engage with the people in your audience, right? You need to take the steps that you're hoping other people are taking towards you. You need to take that towards them and build that active audience up. connection is so important in life in general, and especially in our business. And so building that active audience, there were seasons in my business where I had to get involved in things to meet more people. So I joined my kids' PTA. I did more vendor events. I booked more parties. And that increases my active audience. It increases my customers, my friends, the people who are seeing me. And then it gives me more people to jot down on my list. Okay. So just know that you're not stuck if you don't know people. You absolutely have control over building your active audience, and that should be comforting for you. Okay. Now, let's talk about join conversations, because we're going to do that. We're going to either jot down your list of people you want to have join convos with tomorrow, or if they're awake and if you are like active in your business, usually at 9 p.m. at night, you can send them a message like right here, right now. Okay. But let's talk about how, and maybe some like verbiage examples, because sometimes I think like verbiage can like make or break a conversation. A lot of times I have consultants saying like, oh, I'm reaching out, but I'm not getting anything. And like sometimes my response is like, well, what are you saying? Because it really can just be something super simple, like you're like word vomiting. You're like saying way too much. Or maybe you're not saying enough, or maybe you're just scaring people away, or maybe you're making it sound really complicated, right? So sometimes just adjusting your verbiage helps a lot. So I have some tips for you guys, and then I'm gonna like give you some like actual tangible examples, and then we're just gonna jump into it. Okay. So the like format that I think is really helpful for join combos is like acknowledge the person you're talking to, compliment them, and then ask a question. Okay. So this might look something like this, like, hey, Tana, I know you love your Scentsy so much. I can't help but think that you would love being a Scentsy consultant. We have so much fun and you get your Scentsy free and half off. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? Right. And you could even add at the end of that, like we have an amazing join kit this month where you can become a consultant for only $35. Okay. So there you're like acknowledging the person that they love Scentsy, right? They're purchasing from you. They love Scentsy. You think that they would be a great consultant, or you think that they would really love the discount, or whatever, a compliment. Okay. And then you ask a question. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? Because a lot of times they have thought about doing what you do, but then it's like instantly met with an excuse. I don't have enough time. I can never do what you do. I don't like people. I get that one a lot. I don't like people. Right. But that gives you something to reply with. Okay. And I think that that's really important. It's important to remember that actually these people see what you're doing, they're watching you, and then now you're asking them, have you ever thought of doing what I do? It really opens up the opportunity for them, first of all, to reply, right? Because think about it, you already have a relationship with them. It's not like some random person that you're sliding into their DMs. It's like a customer of yours, right? So you already have a relationship with them, so therefore that increases the chance that they are hearing you, trusting what you're saying, and going to reply. Okay. You're complimenting them, which means that you're thinking about them, right? It is not all about you. It's very much arrows out. Like, I think that you would love being a consultant. We have a lot of fun. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? It's a question that is encouraging a reply. Okay. And then give them a piece of value. We have a $35 starter kit this month, right? Like it can really be that simple. And of course, you might need to change the compliment, right? Like you could say something like, hey Michelle, I love watching you and your grandbabies. I think that they are so sweet. I bet they would love being your little Scentsy assistants. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? We have an amazing $35 join kit this month, right? And then you are planting seeds in their mind, right? Like, oh, she actually like really thinks about me. She knows me well. And she thinks that my grandkids would be really cute Scentsy helpers. And I see her with her kids being really cute Scentsy helpers. Like that's actually really sweet. And actually I have thought about it, but I don't have time, or I'm juggling too much, or what comes in the kit, right? It opens up the opportunity for more. Okay. you're planting those seeds. And it can be like a really sweet connection piece to further that connection with your customer or your audience or your future teammate, right? And so that's kind of like my approach. Okay. Now, when do I do this? Well, I try to make it a rhythm of doing it all the time. There's not like, oh, I aim for 10 joint conversations a month. Okay. I think I used to have those like tangible goals. And I think that's great because that's something like you can control. You can control having 10 joint conversations a month. And so if that is how your ticker ticks, I think that's fine. Okay. But for me, I follow up regularly. I talk to my customers regularly. And so I kind of just like throw it in my regular follow-ups. Or I will throw it in when my customers are ordering. I'm getting orders throughout the week from my customers wanting stuff. And so that's a conversation right there, you know? So they give me an order for a warmer, a 6-pack of bars, and 3 fragrance flowers. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is an amazing order. I love everything that you picked out. You are seriously a Scentsy addict. You would love being a consultant. You get free and half off Scentsy all the time. And it is so much fun. Plus, you get paid commission on any sales that you make. Like, have you ever thought about being a consultant? We have an incredible kit this month that you could get for $35, and then you could order all this stuff from yourself and make commissions back, right? So like that is another just form of value, and it's just offering something. They do not have to take that offer up right away, and I will happily place their order for them. Heck, I would love that PRV. That's great. But I know that this customer is really good. She's a great customer. Great customers make great consultants. And so why not in that conversation offer the opportunity for her to join? Okay. Same with following up, right? So I'm following up with Susan, who just ordered 6 bars and a warmer. And I say, hey, Susan, it's Alex with Scentsy. I hope you're doing great and loving your Scentsy. Just wanted to circle back and see if you had any favorite fragrances. Also wondering if you've ever thought about being a consultant. We have so much fun over here, and you get all the Scentsy free and half off that your heart desires, you know, something like that when you're following up. Again, it's checking in on them, having a conversation, being real, but offering something with a question that gives them the opportunity to reply. And so just know that like these are planting seeds, and they're not always going to jump on it right away, but it's something that you have sparked in their mind, right? You've given them that idea. They can maybe visualize having their grandbabies being their little Scentsy assistants, or they can visualize, you know, next time they change their wax, they can remember like, oh, I could actually be getting this free and half off, or I could be getting paid commission on this, right? You're planting seeds. And then if they're already in your audience, if they're already your customers, if they're already in your business, then they're going to need more. You're not going to stop following up with them because they didn't want to join. You're not going to stop being an awesome consultant because they didn't jump on the opportunity when you mentioned it, right? You're going to continue to build so you have more opportunities. And so you do want to circle back. You want to circle back to that list of 100. This is why writing down whoever you're talking to about joining is so valuable in your notes of your phone and your notebook, wherever. Having a list of people you have asked is really important, because as this becomes a natural ebb and flow of your business, you're going to be having lots of conversations. And so just quickly jotting down that name so you know when to circle back. And so, there are certain times where it's really important to circle back too, like the next time they place an order, or maybe the order after that, right? If they're customers, don't think that you can't mention it again. I just, one of my customers was like, she like knows my website better than I do. Okay. And like, she like Google stuff in advance. Like she knows what's coming out before I even share it, and like all this stuff. And I just like told her, like, I'm just waiting for the day that you decide to be a consultant, right? Like I'm like sharing again, like I think that you need to join, right? So the next time they order, or the time after that that they order, when they order in the future, that's an opportunity to mention it again. When we have join promos like this month, that's a great time to go look at your list and follow up. Like, hey, Amanda, I just wanted to circle back with our joint, with the conversation we had a few months ago about you becoming a consultant. We have an amazing join kit this month for $35. You get a warmer, a fragrance flower, a bar, and some business tools. I seriously think you would make an amazing consultant. I'd love to chat more about that if you're interested, or I'd love to give you the info if you want to sign up, right? So like when we have amazing join promos, and your regular follow-ups, right? I use the sales report to do my follow-ups. And so there's some customers that I haven't talked to in about 3 months, right? So that would be a really great time to mention, hey, we have this awesome $35 join promo, right? So just in my regular follow-ups. When you're closing out a party, we have those $59 host kits. So that's a really amazing time to be like, hey, I have a discounted starter kit if you're available. I know we talked about it a few months ago. I really think that you would love being a consultant. We just launched our new spring catalog. I would love to get you all of this stuff at a discount. It's expiring tomorrow, so let me know if you'd like it, right? And then maybe a picture of the join kit. And then when you're booking parties, I think parties is a really, really, really amazing way to grow your team. So like try to get your best customers to host a party, because when they see that their aunt loves Scentsy, their neighbor loves Scentsy, their coworker loves Scentsy, their best friend loves Scentsy, then they're like, oh, I could actually do this. People actually do purchase it. My people actually do purchase it. And just depending on how you do your parties, it could be a really amazing way to set them up for some really great success, whether you're flipping the party to them or not. That's your choice as a business owner. But you know, whether you do your parties in like a Facebook party in a group, then they can have that group as their VIP group when they're done, right? There's so many amazing ways to set your new consultants up for success with the party. So if you feel like you are struggling with sponsoring, again, we're going to encourage you to party, okay? Because whether or not that host joins, when you're partying, you're increasing your network, you're increasing your active audience. So maybe one of those people would want to join, or maybe one of those people would want to host a party, and then at their party, one of their people will want to join. And either way, your PRV has increased, your customer base has increased, and your potential new recruits have increased. Okay. So hopefully this information is really, really helpful for you as you step into join conversations. And so I'd love to open it up just for the last few minutes for the action part of this. Okay. If you, and I know I recognize it's a little bit late, but if you have people maybe who are active on Facebook right now who are on your list, if you have a list of people who are on your list of 100 people you've talked to about joining before, things like that, like I think it would be a great time, like right now, to go ahead and have a few join combos. And we can do that right here on the Dream Team chat. If you are on a phone, you can just swipe up. The Zoom will still be on. If you're on a computer, go ahead and hop on your phone and you can send those messages out. Awesome, Sherry. I think that's so awesome. So let's go ahead and do that. And if it's too late for you, if you feel like, okay, I'm on the East Coast, it's 10:30, like it is too late, go ahead and get that list ready, and then maybe even just like type out the message and put it in your notes so you can send it in the morning. Okay. Because I think it's really important that we like use action to our advantage, that we don't just gather all this information in our brain as good ideas, but instead like we put it to use. And that is the whole point of our trainings this month, is to like get some action steps. So let's use the next few minutes to do that. And then if you, every time you send a message or you've typed out your message or you have your list, just put it in the comments and we will be cheering you on.